lost in the stacks with the eccentric bookman.
Oh, hey there. Back? Sorry, it's been a long time. But your old friend, the eccentric bookman, has had more than his share of things coming his way, but let's not talk about that. Let's get to the topic at hand. Let's discuss what we always come here to get lost in this stacks to discuss books. Tonight, I think we'll change up the pace and switch genres. Don't get me wrong, I love horror and will continue to do that along with every other genre. My collection is extensive and vast, and I do not exclude any books for any reason. I accept books on the merit of their stories and if they are interesting and riveting. Please allow me to be your guide once again as we go on a journey into the traversing the world where reality meets fantasy and imagination. Oh, don't worry, you'll be fine as long as you remember one important thing. It's only a story. With that being said, tonight's story will be
Change of heart.
by Mary Calmaze. An interesting story, to be sure. The story is about a young man named Jin Rain and his childhood best friend, Crane Adams, as they travel around from place to place. Jin and Crane are not your typical nomads, as they are panther shifters and were exiled from their tribe for the fact that Jin is a special kind of panther shifter that's very, very rare. Jin is a Rhea and an out and proud gay man, and their tribe could not live with this fact as Rheas were always supposed to be female. But since Jin was a male, they couldn't deal with it and were cast out of their tribe. They find themselves in the territory of another Semmel's tribe, and Jin urges Crane to be very careful. But one night, when they were walking home from their jobs at an exclusive nightclub, they catch sight of a young girl being chased by a group of panthers. This would be very strange to most people, but not to them, as they understand. Deciding to help the girl, they change and go after her. Coming to her defense, they're able to save her from the other group of panthers, fleeing the scene after Jin senses that her people are on their way to collect her and not wanting to face repercussions for being in another panther tribe's territory. In this story, there are panther tribes all around the world, and they all govern their own territories. Jin and Crane's tribe are not the only tribe of panther shifters. The tribal land that they are in currently is the tribe of Mofdat, and unwittingly, by saving the girl, they saved the sister of the tribe's Semmel. Semmel is the leader of the tribe, and fearing repercussions for being there without permission, Jin urges Crane to flee the scene with him, but is intercepted on the way home by Andrian Basaragan, a Katiyu, a soldier, a fighter, and Andrian urges Jin that Logan will not be upset that they're in his territory. They saved his sister, he was in their debt, and after breaking bread and having a meal with Andrian and his men. Andrian drops Jin and Crane off at their apartment building, and agrees not to tell Delphine, the female panther they saved, that he had saw them, that about them, only that he had saw them, and made sure they were okay. Like I said, Andrian informs them that the girl they saved was Delphine Church, the sister of Logan Church, the symbol of the tribe of Mofdat. A few months later, Andrian said that he would put in a good word for them, and they had permission, and that he would make sure that Logan would be okay with them being in his territory, especially since their boss at the club wanted Jin to take over as manager of his restaurant by the sea, but it was in Logan's territory. They managed to gain partial membership with another tribe that lives close to the tribe of Mofdat, the tribe of Haket. The Semel of the tribe being Christoph Danvers, only Jin reveals that it wasn't Christoph who inducted him into their tribe. It was his wife, Talon Danvers, and being the son of his tribe Semel, Jin knows Panther law inside and out, and has used it many times to get out of sticky situations. He informed Talon that she could also accept people into the tribe, and that's how they gained admittance to the tribe of Hakat. And as I said, being the son of a Sylvan, Mitchell Rain, Jin knows Panther law inside and out. And Jin and Crane, a few months later, are in a good place with Jin being the manager of the restaurant, but eventually gets into breaking up and diffusing a situation with Yuri Kosa, the Shasaru of the tribe of Mofdat. And the Shasaru is like the enforcer, the muscle, and in a drunken belligerent fit, he was snarling at one of Jin's servers till Jin stepped out on the patio and told the young man to go back inside, revealing to Yuri that he was a cat, a panther shifter, and not only that but a Rhea. Yuri dropped to his knees and begged for forgiveness for his behavior, but wondered why a Rhea would be on his own without his mate. Jin, fearing that Yuri would discover that he had no mate, tried to get Yuri to leave as quickly as he could, but the plot thickens when Delphine Church shows up. Yuri is suspicious and believes that Jin may be unmated, but he is able to get Yuri to leave by telling him that he has a mate, and the name of his mate is Crane Adams. And after this, Jin urges Crane, telling him they have to leave because he knows that Crane is no Semel, and as soon as he meets another Semel, he'll know that, or even the tribe, they'll know he's not a Semel. But Crane doesn't want to leave as they've put down roots there. But Jin eventually pushes him and convinces him to leave. When they get home and they find out from a animal control worker that a large cat has been stalking their building, meaning somebody else was watching them. Crane didn't want to leave without saying goodbye to his friends, so they went to his favorite bar so Crane could say goodbye to his friends. Jin, feeling horrible about it, making his friend leave, but he didn't feel he had a choice, as he had met other Semels before, and they were not his mate, and they didn't take rejection too well. Jin is very distrusting of people, but rightly so, as his own father, Mitchell Rain, said it was his duty to kill him, so Assemble would never have to give up their legacy to be with him. Before Jin and Crane were 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 exiled from their tribe. The entire tribe brutally beat them almost to death and left Jin on the side of the road, barely surviving because Crane had come to his aid and saved him. After they graduated high school, they left out of their old life and had been traveling ever since. And Jin's experience, as I said, with Semmels that don't want to take no for an answer, he's very mistrusting of people. As Crane is in the bar saying goodbye to his friends, or as they arrive at the bar so Crane can say goodbye to his friends, they are greeted by the Sylvan of the tribe of Mofdat, Mikhail Gurgarine. And Mikhail tries to assure and explain to Jin that their Semmel will not be mad or angry and will not hurt either one of them in any way. He is a good, kind, loving person who believes in fairness and warmth. But Jin is still resistant, and as Crane goes in to say goodbye to his friends, Jin is confronted by Doman Thorn, the leader of the tribe that attacked Delphine, and Jin tells him straight out that he's not his Semmel. Doman tries to persuade Jin to see things his way, but Jin is able to get out of the situation by being faster than Doman. Crane, emerging from the bar, comes to Jin's aid and they attempt to leave, but are then confronted by Christoph Danvers, the Semmel of the tribe of Hakat. And he tries to persuade Jin to stay, even though Jin also tells him that he's not his Semmel. But then Christoph tries to tell him that he's a member of his tribe and cannot leave unless he releases him. But being again the son of a Sylvan, the Sylvan is the tribe teacher, the one who represents you if you get into trouble. As just like the Shasaru is the muscle, the enforcer, Sylvan is the teacher, the one who defends you if you get into trouble, as I just explained. And Jin's father, Mitchell Rain, taught him everything about Panther law inside and out. He cleverly uses his knowledge of the law to get out of Christoph's proposal at telling him that Araya is allowed to travel until they find their true mate, and in the course may belong to many tribes. So he was free to leave with his Beset. The Beset is the chosen guardian of the Rhea and belongs to the Rhea. This being his childhood friend Crane Adams, he explains to Christoph that he's free to leave with his Beset anytime he wants to, and leaves Christoph in the middle of the street. Mikhail tries once again to persuade Jin into coming to meet Logan, telling him that Doman and Christoph got a chance to meet him. It's only fair that Logan get a chance to see Araya at least once in his life, as they are so rare. And finally, with Crane pushing to see what Logan would have to say, after Mikhail promised that even if Jin is not Logan's mate, Logan still give them sanctuary in his land, and Mikhail responds by telling them of course. So finally Jin decides to meet with Logan and goes up and gets in the car while Yuri and Mikhail drive them up through the mountain range to Logan's house in the mountains. On the way up, they explain to both Crane and Jin that there's a party going on, as they're having a ceremony, as Logan is about ready to marry Simone Danvers, the sister of Christoph Danvers, and join in a covenant bond. so the house will be packed. Jin at this point asks Mikhail if he would be okay with his Simmel having a male lover, and he said, if fate chooses to gift my Simmel with with a male mate and a Rhea at that, and who am I to question it? But like you said, Jin, you may not even be Logan's true mate. Crane launches into a whole bunch of questions asking why most of the members have Russian-style names. Mikhail explains that not everybody in the tribe of Moffat is Russian, just Logan's family, his, and Yuri's, and a few others. Even's going so far as I believe to say that if they wanted to say Logan's name correctly in pronouncing Logan's name correctly is pronounced Login, but Logan for short. And like I said, they finally arrive at the house. The party's in full swing. Jen is a little hesitant to go in, but eventually does, being greeted by Russell and Church, Logan's brother, at the door, and then finally meeting Logan, feeling a rush of emotions. Logan softly asking Jen to only look at him with a calm, warm tone. Logan and Jen know exactly what each other is feeling as Jen's worst fears is confirmed, and Logan knows that Jen is his mate as Jen realizes that Logan is his Simmel. As Jen told Kristoff earlier, that it is the Simmel that chooses the mate and he wasn't his. But Jen at this point knows that Logan is his and is still fighting against it, as he claims he does not want a mate or even need a mate or a Simmel. Logan turns to Russell and Church, and tells him to tell them that it's off. And Russell is afraid that he'll get blamed for it, but Logan calmly tells him that no matter if he tells them it's off, the moment he looked at Jen, it was already done, so the fault was with nobody, and that it was okay. Russell goes away to give their family the news. Jen tries to leave, but Logan is able to convince him to stay and let him give him a tour of the grounds. To which, after that, they have dinner, and Jen gets to meet the rest of Logan's family, his mother and his father, and is very touched by the warmth of his family, realizing that Mikhail and Yuri were telling the truth, that Logan was a very loving and warm person, and not in any way like any other Simmel he had ever met. Entitled and used to always getting what they want. Logan being being worlds different. Eventually, Kristoff attempts to lure Jen away during the party, but Logan sternly tells him to leave. After which, Logan gives Jen the mark that signifies that he's mated, that he belongs to Logan. In the morning, Jen wakes up to hear an argument going on between Logan and his father, Peter Church, and one of his brothers, with Simone Danvers in the mix. Simone arguing that she won't release Logan from their bond, from their marriage, and he tells her, and he reminds her in Panther Law that Simmel may leave their Rayara at any point when they find their Rhea. He said he'd waited his whole life for his Rhea, and now fate was rewarding him. But Peter and his brother strongly objected, saying that he couldn't take a male mate. Simone even willing to share Logan with Jin, as Jin could not bear children, but Logan had no interest, telling her that he never meant to give her the wrong idea or to lead her on if she thought that it was anything more than an amicable business arrangement between their tribes. And he apologized, but he didn't love her. That the marriage was just convenient. That he offered her, if she had her heart set on getting married, he offered her his brothers, or she could choose her own husband. Jin heard most of this conversation before Logan walked over and closed the door so they wouldn't disturb him. He slid on his clothes and tried to slip out the back door to the kitchen, but the Kristoff's people stopped him, telling him that they had Crane Adams and would hurt him if he didn't come with them. So Jin went with them and they released Crane. They had Jin at Kristoff's club, shackled with silver shackles. In this, I guess silver shackles are like, so I guess silver is like to panther shifters in this story, like silver is to werewolves in the old story. It's harmful. But Jin, being able to change and shift faster than most shifters, was able to slip out, and he slipped out of the room after finding his clothes, but was pursued by men in suits. Before they could capture him, he bolted through a door and into the club. Finding Talon Danvers, he assimilated into her group of girlfriends, and Talon and her friends seemed to be protecting Jin until Avery Caden, the Chaseru of the tribe of Haket, leaned over and whispered something in her ear. Then her demeanor changed from calm and party girl to flat-out murderous. She led Jin outside with her murderous intent. Sensing Talon's distress over having her position threatened by the appearance of Araya, Jin tells Talon that he's made it to Logan Church and she has nothing to worry about. Her demeanor changes instantly, and she puts Jin in the limo, sending him back to Logan, telling him, don't worry about it. It's only Simone's life you're messing up. And instead, Jin asks to be taken home. In the morning, Yuri finds Jin and tells him that Logan demanded retribution for Kristoff taking Jin, and instead of demanding senseless bloodshed, Logan publicly disgraced him and humiliated him in front of his whole tribe. Jin broke out with laughter when Yuri told him about this, stating that Logan was an absolute genius, because if he had killed Kristoff, he would have made him a martyr. By doing that, he publicly not only disgraced him, but embarrassed him in front of his whole tribe. He lost face to some extent. And afterwards, after breakfast, after a short brunch with Yuri took Jin back to the house so Logan could see him. And the story has many twists and turns. Everything from Doman challenging Logan in the pit for control of their tribes and the Rhea, to Logan eventually trying to mend bridges with Jin's tribe and family, but Jin finding out that that Mitchell Rain and the tribe he came from will never accept him. Mitchell Rain, even ignoring proper etiquette in the house of another Semel, comes to attack Jin, and Logan, Yuri, and Mikhail are mortified and shocked utterly and angered by the fact that any man would attempt to hurt or harm or kill their own child. Logan tells his former tribe straight out that he has no interest in his mate's former tribe or his family, that they are to leave and never have any contact with him, his tribe, or his mate ever again, and that when they met in the at the great feast in the valley at Cairo, that when the Semel from Jin's former tribe presented his Yara, he would applaud, and when he presented his Rhea, the applause, the difference in applause would be deafening. And he told them to leave, being angered and enraged by the total lack of love and affection for his own son. Logan presses Jin for more details about what happened when he was exiled, but Jin doesn't want to live in the past anymore. Meeting his father, Mitchell Rain, showed him that he didn't need his old tribe or his family. If they couldn't accept him, that was on them. That he only needed his new tribe and his new family. Logan, Kale, Fury, and Crane, and Logan's family and all the people in the tribe of Moffat were his new family. They were a much kinder and loving people and accepted him without hesitation, treated him like he was something to be treasured instead of something to be ashamed of, and deciding that he doesn't want nor need to live in the past anymore. He didn't need his old tribe's approval or his family. You know, they were the ones who walked away from him, not the other way around. And Jin finally tells Logan, and Jin just tells Logan it doesn't matter, you know, and distracting Logan with other activities gets Logan to drop the subject, and settles into his new life with his new family. This is book one in a long-running series. Maybe we'll do the other ones down the road. If you'd like me to, please leave a comment below or on the video. And if you like this video in general, please like, subscribe, and comment. You can find these videos on Guillotine Cinema and Eccentric TV. And please come back to visit me, and feel free to get lost in the stacks. Oh, don't be alarmed. That's just an old friend dropping by for a late night snack. Kitty, be nice, we have guests. And please, try not to eat them on the way out.